Alright guys, thank you guys for joining my TikTok live. Thank you guys for joining my YouTube video. So today is going to be a little bit different. We're kind of talking about a case. So this is going to be a lot of triggers. So we're going to be talking about grooming, manipulation, lying, and underage. I don't think there's like sex involved, but I'm definitely gonna say underage activities with an adult, if that makes sense. So let's kind of get right into it. As you guys know, my name's Gabrielle. My YouTube video, you guys know me as Gabby. So we're going to be talking about the Teen Wolf murders. Yeah, you guys heard that right. Teen Wolf murders. This case is so crazy to me just because of the fact that the perpetrator was a 12-year-old little girl. Which, and like for me that's so crazy to think about because like I was 12, like less than, I want to say 11 years ago, because I'll be 21 in like a couple days. I don't know. I'm not good at math. But I just think that's crazy to think about, like, 12-year-old. Like, when I was 12 years old, I was boxing. And I was, like, trying to think about what I was eating for dinner. Like, literally trying to talk my mom into getting me a phone. Like, at 12 years old, I was not thinking about murdering people at all. And, like, okay, like, this case gets even crazier, okay? Okay, so this case starts with this girl named Jasmine Richardson, okay, who was only 12. Like I said, she was only 12. Like, you guys heard that right, 12. She was involved in a brutal murder, and her boyfriend, get this, was only, that's a bad word to use for this, her boyfriend was 23 years old. Yeah. As a 20-year-old, I'll be 21 on January 14th. But as somebody who is above the age of 18, I literally look at kids and I'm like, oh my god, I could not spend time with you. Like, let alone be dating somebody who's 12 years old. Like, 12-year-olds are so immature. I just don't understand. You know, like, I'm sorry. My hair is driving me nuts. I hadn't brushed it before I took it out of the bun. So if you guys are wondering why I'm like playing with it so much, it's because it is knotted, it's dry. Today is my hair washing day and I take a shower at night. And I didn't take a shower this morning, so I do it at night. Anyway, back to the case. This guy was 11 years older than Jasmine, and his name was Jeremy. I'm not going to be able to pronounce his name. To me, it's spelt like stink, but I know that's not right. I think it's like stink or whatever. I'm just going to go with Jeremy. So he made her believe he was a 300-year-old werewolf. Yeah. You guys heard that right. 300-year-old werewolf. Again, that's the kind of manipulation side that I was talking about. He really manipulated his way into getting into this little girl's life. And kind of getting his way in things, which I kind of understand in the case, like, in the aspect of things, like, children are so naive, and, like, they're able to be tricked into so many things. And, like, of course this guy used that to his advantage. I mean, what sick person wouldn't, you know? But so the murder, the case itself, so the people that these two people murdered, was her parents and her whole family. And in America, it takes 3. So in order to become a serial killer, you have to kill at the very least 3 people. And she did. Well, sort of. So she actually was the one who came up with the plan. Like, she was the ringleader of all this. Like, she's the mastermind behind the murders. But she only killed her brother. which I say only, but that's just devastating. Her brother Tyler Jacob was 8 years old when he was murdered by his 12-year-old sister. And he was found upstairs and his throat was slashed. Which, that is so sad. Like, I didn't like my sister when I was growing up. Like, my sister and I did not get along at all. But I couldn't imagine murdering her. Like, we had our things, and, like, I was not a nice sister. Like, in any way, shape, or form. Like, I used to go around, like, pranking her in, like, really scary ways. And I do remember one time, I got really hooked on this channel, and, like, I'm not going to quote it because copyright issues, but, like, I used the saying from a scary short film that freaked her out, and I went all over her room, and in Expo marker, I wrote all over her windows, all over our bathroom mirror, everywhere I can think of to write it, I did. And I think it was because she stole my lip gloss, like, sisterly, pranks that I kind of took too far. And I will admit that. So if you're watching this, Ariana, I am so sorry. I love you. That was in the past. Please don't come for me. But like I said, I couldn't imagine murdering my sister. Like, I just couldn't. And so I kind of did the math as well while I was talking about this case. And to think about it, my sister and I are 3 years apart. I want to say 2 and 3/4, but technically 3 years apart. My sister's birthday is December 10th, and my birthday is January 14th. She is 18, and I will be 21 on the 14th. So there's very little amount of time that we're 2 years apart. So we're 3 years apart. So, her and her brother are 4 years apart, which again, like I said, I couldn't imagine doing this. But so she killed her brother, and her boyfriend Jeremy killed the parents, and they were found in the basement. And their names are Mark Richardson and Deborah Richardson. And Mark was 42 and Deborah was 48. And I don't know if any of you guys are new to my channel. I do want to state that I'm not giving a voice to the perpetrator as much as I am trying to give a voice to the victims of the case. That's why I talk about the victims. That's why I kind of talk about the situation more from the victim side than the perpetrator side, because I feel like not a lot of channels do it like that. They kind of just give the facts of the case. They don't really, I don't know, not bashing any true crime channel, because I watch pretty much all of them. I love true crime. I mean, that's kind of why I'm doing this instead of the celebrity gossip that I wanted to start out with. I just feel like this is kind of where I wanted to go. This is actually what I wanted to go to do for college. I wasn't quite able to get all my tax information, so sadly I will have to put off college for a whole other year to do so. But ultimately my plan is to go to college to become a forensic scientist. And that's what I'm going to college for, but I will also be going to college for law enforcement. Mostly because I have always been very interested in true crime and kind of just figuring out why. There's always a reason behind something. There's always, Ted Bundy had his reasonings. Richard Ramirez definitely had his reasonings. And I've always been fascinated with those reasonings, mostly because I want to know the appeal behind what causes somebody to go dark. There's so many good people in the world, but there's way more dark in the world, and that's kind of why I am the way I am. Anyway, back to the case. So at the time of the police finding the family, they couldn't find Jasmine. And so they were like, oh my goodness, Jasmine got kidnapped by the murderer. Jasmine is missing because she is kidnapped. Well, little did they know that, no, she was actually the reason why her brother was killed. And this all took place in Canada, which I also found very interesting. Just because whenever you hear about Canada in America, like, you always hear, like, oh, they're really nice people, and, like, they're really cool, and they would never hurt a fly. But, time and time again, there are good people in the world, but then there are always bad people. You know, there's always that type of person. So, I'm sorry, eyeshadow always distracts me. So at the time of finding the family dead, they couldn't find Jasmine, like I said, and they kind of feared the worst, thinking that she was the victim of kidnapping. However, because her boyfriend's best friends, Casey Lancaster, was arrested on the 3rd of May in 2006 for being an accomplice and disposing of the evidence on Jasmine and Jeremy in their truck. He probably ratted them out. I couldn't quite find any information about him, but it's safe to assume he was like, oh no, Jasmine is involved in this, and I will 100% take a plea deal because this is bad. Like, anybody who knows, like, if you're an accomplice to murder, like, you're going to jail for, I think it's like a max of 12 years. And, you know, he probably put up a lesser deal or a lesser sentence, just because of the fact that, like, who wouldn't? Like, he was probably like, oh yeah, I'll do this, and not really realizing, like, what was really, like, he was doing, and, like, what he was hiding. You know, like, I kind of feel like that's a thing. Like I said, I couldn't really find any information on him. Like, I really wanted to, but I couldn't. So, anyway, stop picking. So, like, they found Jasmine and Jeremy, a little bit, I'm sorry, I'm trying to find it. So they were found a day later. So after, their friend was found and was arrested for, accomplice to murder and getting rid of evidence, they were also found. And like I said, I kind of feel like that's because of the fact that, Casey was like, oh, fuck you, I ain't going to jail for you. That's probably why that was the thing. I mean, I wouldn't. Like, you know, I just feel like that, yeah. So, the reason they did it, and this is so weird to me because I just feel like love is not a great reason to kill some family. I don't know, maybe that's because, like, I put family first before anything. Like, my family is 100% my rock. Like, they got me to where I'm at. But they did it. Jasmine's parents were very conflicted about their relationship between Jeremy and Jasmine due to the age difference. Like, I don't know. Obviously, that's gonna be a thing. I'm sorry. If my daughter was trying to date a 23-year-old, like, she wouldn't even be allowed to. Like, I just don't understand where are the parents in all of this situation. Like, bad parenting. Not trying to mom shame the victims here, but I feel like they could have done a lot more to prevent this than they did. But that's my opinion, and that is not a popular opinion. But, so, they actually did condemn their love life, quote unquote love life. But Jeremy, he claimed he was a 300-year-old werewolf, allegedly. And he stated that he had a tang for blood, which means he had a taste for blood. So, like, he wanted blood, which is cannibalistic. I probably should have put that on here as another warning, because I forgot. So yeah, that's the reasoning behind him murdering these people, was so that he could taste their blood. Which, gross. I just don't understand. Anyway. And so he wore a vial. Like a little, like, you know, like science class. We had those little DNA science, little things that, like, you'd swab inside of your cheek, and, like, you'd put it around your neck, and, like, you had your DNA hanging around your neck. Well, I remember when I was in high school, a little side story to those, I think it's so funny to think about, but I remember when I was in high school, and, like, a lot of teenagers were, like, swapping them with their boyfriend. And, like, these men, like, would wear it proudly, like, I have my girlfriend's DNA around my neck. What? Please, if you guys are in high school and you're watching this, don't do that. That's weird. It's a red flag. I feel like that's a red flag. I'm sorry, I would never do that. Maybe that's just my opinion. Anyway. So, he, like, wore a vial of blood around his neck. And there are also speculations of, like, where the couple met. Sorry guys, I gotta do this. I gotta make my lips look more lively. I do not like the feel of this lipstick. Was that okay? That's just a blemish. Okay, so there are speculations that where the couple met. However, it is believed it's believed that Jasmine met him on Nexopia. I don't know. Let me look that up because I feel horrible for not knowing that. Hold on, guys. Let's find out how to pronounce that, because it is where they met. So that is a very important. Well, it's a chat site. Okay. That's funny. Pronunciation. I'm usually a really good speller, just not today. Ah. Pronunciation. Wow. That's not how you spell it. Okay then. How, come on. How to say. Look at, I feel so stupid. I'm not gonna lie. Nexopia. That seems right. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, I'm just gonna go with Nexopia because that's how it's spelled. It's literally Nexopia. Nexopia. So it is a chat site, which that kind of reminds me of Clicksters. I used to go on there as a very, 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 very prominent user of Clicksters. I hate to admit that. Anyway. So, which is also a prominent Canadian social media website. So they communicated, however, messages were public, and as such, the account has been removed. Although, so, continuing with that, it was alleged that Jeremy and some comrades watched the 1994 movie, Natural Born Killers. And so, I'm actually going to watch that movie, because from the description, it looks really good. But I'm going to kind of look up the description for you guys, because a lot of my followers they weren't born in the 90s, they're mostly 2000 babies, and so probably not a lot of them know what that is about. Okay. So, Natural Born Killers, it's an American crime film and it was directed by Oliver Stone, starring Woody Harrelson, Juliette Lewis, Robert Downey Jr. Oh, so it's a good movie. Robert Downey Jr. is on here. I like Robert Downey Jr. if you guys didn't realize. Tom Sizemore and Tommy Lee Jones. The film tells the story of two victims of traumatic childhood who become lovers and mass murderers and are irresponsibly glorified by the mass media. Oh, so every serial killer situation out there, I'm just saying, don't come for me. I feel like that is so normal. And like the serial killer kind of community, a lot of people glorify what they do, and they're like, oh, I'm gonna be with you, let me love you, let me change you. Ladies, you can't change them. They've already killed. And it is said that if you kill a human being, you lose a little bit of your soul every time. So I am 100% just saying, think about Richard Ramirez. The amount of people that he killed, he doesn't have a soul. Ted Bundy didn't have a soul. All of these serial killers, no soul. Because, like I said, when you kill somebody, you lose part of your soul. It takes 3 people to become a serial killer. Ow! I poked myself in the eye. Anyway. So like I said, it takes 3 kills to become a serial killer. And usually serial killers are definitely, there's warning signs. Killing small animals, insects, torturing them. I have a lot of childhood trauma, and I took out my anger in torturing moths, and my mom got me tested for sociopathy, I believe is how you pronounce it. I don't have it. I was just tested. Although I was tested for a lot. Like, I was tested for autism. Anyway. So, yeah. So only hours before the murders of Jasmine's parents and brother, it was reported that he told his friends that he wanted his girlfriend and him to plot similarly, but without sparing the brother. So, oh wait, I skipped a line. I'm sorry, guys. Without sparing. Oh, no, I was right. Okay, so he was. But why do people do that? I don't understand. So he was literally talking to his friends about killing somebody. And, like, wanting to kill his girlfriend's family because they wouldn't let them be together. And he's like, but I don't want to spare the brother. The brother is also dead. What? I just don't understand. How could you kill a little child? I don't know. Maybe I'm normal. I don't know. I just don't see that. Like, how the fuck could you find killing a little boy, like, entertaining? I just don't know. Anyway, so, almost 16 years ago, Jasmine and Jeremy, massacred their whole family. She sliced her brother's throat and left him to perish under his blood-stained toys. You guys, she literally killed her brother, slit his throat, and let him fucking sit there on his toys, bleeding to death. While her boyfriend stabbed her parents in the basement. And it gets fucking worse. It gets worse, you guys. It gets worse. Due to the criminal, or the Youth Criminal Justice Act in Canada, she couldn't be charged. So she killed her brother. She plotted her parents' death with her 23-year-old werewolf boyfriend, and she wasn't charged. No, you know what she was given? She was giving a whole new life. Yeah. So she lives in secret. So if you're watching this, shame on you for killing your brother. I'm just saying, shame on you. Shame on you. So yeah, so she wasn't even. It irritates me reading that. Like, it really irritates me. So she was given a prison sentence of 10 years. Oh, poor girl. 12 years old. Killed your fucking family because of your 300-year-old werewolf boyfriend. And you only get 10 years. And you guys, she cried about that. She literally cried about that. After slicing her brother's throat open, she had the audacity to cry about that. I just don't understand, but that's me. Maybe I'm cruel. I just don't understand. So she was charged. She was found guilty of 3 first-degree murders. So she was found guilty of killing not only her brother, but also her parents, and she only got 10 years because of the Youth Criminal Justice Act in Canada. Oh my god. What? Anyway. So like I said, she was found. I'm like reading my notes and it actually irritates me reading it. I'm not gonna lie. So, she began during her concluding years of the verdict. So the last couple years of her 10-year sentence of murdering her family, she was able to go to college. Let that sink in for a second. She went to college. So she sliced her brother's throat. I know, I'm sorry, I'm saying that so much, guys. But it irritates me. It literally irritates me hearing that. She sliced her 8-year-old brother's throat open, let him bleed to death on his toys. He wasn't able to go to college. Why should she be able to go to college? Anyway, anywho. So she went to Mount Royal University in September 21. She was released the following year and was reported to express remorse at a rehab center in October 2012. I don't, this doesn't sit right with me. Anyway, so she was released the following year and she did kind of show remorse. After a final review, Jasmine was freed of all charges on May 6th, 2016. As of now, the 25-year-old is residing covertly somewhere in Canada. I'm sorry, I say that as a joke. Canada. I know how to speak. Canada. Perhaps near her old neighborhood. We don't know where she is. This girl who literally killed her parents, murdered her 8-year-old brother because of a 23-year-old, 300-year-old werewolf. Literally. We don't know where she is. That makes me so mad. I'm just glad she doesn't live in America. I'm sorry, Canada. I'm sorry you guys have to deal with that. That's so upsetting. So upsetting. Anyway, so, and she, apparently, Jasmine is exhibiting, she is described as a poster child for rehab. However, as they entered the Richardson house for inspection during a sunny day in April, one woman told CBC, if they're old enough to do the crime, you should be old enough to do the time. And I agree. I agree. If you are old enough to literally, you guys, I'm gonna repeat myself again so you guys can fully understand what I'm trying to say, even though I've said it a million times. She slashed, which means she took the knife, example, Exhibit A, She took the knife and literally went like this. With the knife on her 8-year-old brother and let him bleed out. He wasn't dead when she slashed his throat. He wasn't. She literally let him live through that and let him die while drowning in his own blood. Old enough to do the crime, old enough to do the time. I love that. That's gonna be my new saying. That's gonna be a saying I'm gonna use for cases like this. Because that is absolutely ridiculous. What the hell? Oh, okay. Anyway. That cringes me. Okay. As for Jeremy, her 300-year-old boyfriend, he was charged with 3 first-degree murders and was confronted with life in imprisonment in 2008. Soon after their arrest, Jeremy proposed to Jasmine. You guys, she's still 12 at this point. So, this is like when they were first charged. This was after, like, they got caught and they were arrested. She's still 12 at this point. This was literally right after they killed their parent, like, after they killed her family. Like, literally, still 12 years old. Still 12 years old. And he proposes as a 23-year-old man. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. Boy. 23-year-old boy. Obviously, he has no brain, so he's a boy. Okay? A boy. 23 years old. Proposed to a 12-year-old. I just don't understand. Anyway. Jasmine orchestrated and oversaw the murder of her parents. Mark Richardson, 42. Deborah Richardson, 48. And her brother, Jacob Richardson, age 8. While her boyfriend executed the most gruesome parts, Jasmine was only 12 years old. I want to cry. Cases with kids always get me. Like, I went through so much childhood trauma, and in the way that I actually cope with that trauma is I try being there for kids that are going through the same thing, whether, it be legitimate or not. I still try protecting kids as much as I possibly can. It always hurts when I hear about kids, like, murdering, or, like, even, like, with Jasmine, like, that honestly breaks my heart, because she was obviously manipulated. Like, I don't know. I feel like this case kind of gives me, like, contradictory emotions towards Jasmine. I don't know. Anyway. Sorry. So, Jeremy, disguised by a mask and holding a large knife, snuck into the family's basement, where he did stab Deborah, age 42, 12 times. Mark, Jasmine's dad, he wasn't, I'm sorry guys, I got the ages mixed up. Deborah was 48, so he did stab Deborah, who was 48 years old, 12 times. Mark Richardson, who was 42, rushed to his wife's aid and fought Jeremy. Like, he fought for his life. Sadly, though, obviously you guys know the outcome if you guys have stayed this long. Jeremy did ultimately dominate Mark, and he stabbed Mark 24 times, including 9 deep wounds in the back. From there, Jasmine joined Jeremy and they slipped up to Jacob's room, who was only 8 at the time, as I have said, where the child was asleep. Jasmine stabbed her brother 4 times and Jeremy slit the boy's throat from ear to ear. So for context, ear to ear, slit his throat. Afterward, the bloodthirsty pair fled the scene with the help of a friend, Casey Lancaster, who was 19, who drove them away. The couple's motives for the mass slaughter arose from Mark and Deborah objecting to their preteen daughter dating a guy in their 20s. Jacob's death was just another thrill-kill aspect of the spree that Jasmine later admitted she hoped would only bring us closer together. You guys, let that sink in for a second. She didn't kill her brother for any reason. There was no reason for her to kill her 8-year-old brother, other than the fact that she wanted her boyfriend and her to get closer together. I'm sorry. The age-inappropriate and ultimately lethal romance first bloomed earlier in 2006 when Jasmine and Jeremy had met at a local punk rock show. Oh, I'm sorry, I lost my place. Both Jasmine and Jeremy each identified as goth, dressing in black and wearing ghoulish makeup. By the way, you don't need to wear black makeup and wear ghoulish makeup to be considered goth. That's just a stereotype. I mean, I'm emo. Nobody would know. I need to re-dye my hair. Anyway, each was also active in an online social media community called Vampire Freaks, where Jasmine listed her age as 15 and went by the name Runaway Devil. Speaking of lying about age, Jeremy claimed to be a 300-year-old werewolf, and according to his friends, Jasmine may have well believed him. The forbidden lovers professed passion for one another via emails and internet messages. In one such outpouring, Jasmine wrote of her family. You guys, listen to this. I'm gonna scroll up so I don't lose my place because this is important. I have a plan. Okay, so this is Jasmine's email towards Jeremy. I have a plan. It begins with me killing them and ends with me living with you. Jeremy replied with the idea, well, I love your plan, but we need to get a little more creative with, like, details and stuff. We need to get... What? Oh. 3 days before the murder, Jasmine wrote about the Richardson in his online journal. Their throats I want to slit. They will regret the blank, aka shit. They will regret the shit they have done, especially when I see to it that they are gone. They shall pay for their insurance. Finally, there shall be silence. Their blood shall be payment. The night before the assault, Jasmine and Jeremy ritualistically watched their favorite film, Natural Born Killers. They literally watched that before they went and killed their family. Oh my god. Okay. So, Beginning with the members of Mallory's family, eventually Jeremy would say to an interrogating detective, "Natural born killers, I think that's the greatest love story of all time." A neighbor first noticed Mark's and Deborah's bodies through the window. Police responded and discovered Jacob's death as well. Initially, the public wanted to help to find Jasmine, because like I said in the beginning of my video, the police and everybody thought that Jasmine was kidnapped. They literally were like, "Oh shit, Jasmine's gone. Like, she must have been kidnapped by the killers. Like, that's why they were killing her. Like, that's why. That makes sense." Nope. That's not what happened, you guys. As you all know. Initially, they presumed that Jasmine had been abducted, like I said. Authorities had issued an Amber Alert, hoping the public would return her safely. So, I mean, you guys... Hold on. We're gonna look this up statistically. How many children go... You guys, this is so sad. Okay, on an average, in Canada, as the case is, so as the case was made in Canada, so as the case was actually based in Canada, and there's an estimated 45,288 children reported missing each year in Canada. You guys think about that. Jasmine was safe. Jasmine had no reason to have an Amber Alert. In fact, there should have been, like, there should have been some, like, other alert, like, hey, like, teenager on the loose, possibly dangerous, probably gonna kill you. Like, that should have been the report. Instead, they had an Amber Alert, and I believe there's, like, a child missing every day, if not more. And I just want you guys to think about that. Jasmine literally used an Amber Alert that could have been used for a different child. I'm just saying, that's fucked up. Anyway, back to my case. Okay. So, the police service recalls, "I truly believe that this person was missing and possibly abducted. It wasn't even in the realm of possibility that she was an accused." And you guys, you know what that means? They literally thought that she was gonna die. They literally thought there was no way there was no way that she was the one who was she was the one who did this. No way that the police are like, "Oh my god, we gotta get this girl because she's dangerous." No, it was, "We need to get this girl because she's in danger." How messed up is that? I'm sorry, that just irritates me. 100% irritates me. Okay. So, okay. Hold on, investigators did discover Jasmine and Jeremy's public and private online proclamations of their love, and put together who had committed the crimes. So they figured out, because of the fact that they were, like, emailing each other and they were, like, talking about this, they literally were like, "Oh, they did it." Officers then picked up the couple that had been following. I am so sorry, you guys. The pair have been, so they picked up the couple, and they were found laughing and cuddling before being arrested. They killed their fucking family. They killed an 8-year-old boy, and they were found laughing and cuddling. What? Almost immediately, Jasmine and Jeremy wrote to one another behind bars. In one exchange, Jeremy proposed marriage, and Jasmine accepted. She also bragged about how the massacre had turned them into legends who would be immortal. She literally said that of correspondence, that's our 5 minutes of fame. What? 5 minutes of fame? What? Immortality means people will forever remember you. Jasmine entered a plea deal of not guilty in 2007, and a jury did convict her of 3 counts of first-degree murder. And sentenced her to the maximum penalty allowed for a child of 12 years, 10 years. So she was charged 10 years. 4 which would be in a psychiatric hospital, and 4 would be under supervised probation. So, okay, let's see. 4 plus 4, that's 8. So, she spent 4 years, or no, not 4 years, 2 years in jail. 2 years. 2 fucking years. After killing her whole family, 2 years in jail, 4 years in a hospital, and then 4 years in probation. That's not enough. I'm sorry. That is not enough at all. And then, Jasmine did become the youngest person convicted for a triple homicide in Canadian history. Jeremy also pleaded not guilty, but he had admitted to the murders reputedly. He got 3 concurrent life sentences with no possibility of parole for 25 years. Casey Lancaster, who drove the couple's getaway car, cut a plea deal and received a year of house arrest. Like I said, the second the cops found out it was him, he was like, oh shit, plea deal. I will admit everything. That's probably exactly what happened. Snitch. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. Like I said, it's not snitching if it's for the safety of others. So, while serving her time, Jasmine did later come to understand the regret the horror of her crime. So she did understand it after a while, and took well into the rehab efforts. So she participated. She understood what she did was wrong. I still feel like that's not enough, but that's my opinion. In 2011, she went to college, like I said. And in 2016, at age 23, in 2016, at age, I was right. Jasmine received parole and was released. If she remains out of trouble until 2020, the murders will be expunged from her record. Haven't heard anything about her, so I'm going to safely assume that she had her record expunged. At one point, okay, hold on. And so one of the inspectors of one of the detectives, I'm gonna say, says he has experienced conflicting emotions over Jasmine's sentence and freedom, saying at one point, I wanted to lock her up forever. I don't think I'm there now. I hope she moves on and becomes a productive member of society. I don't think she's truly evil, as I have met some of those people that are bad to the bone. She's not one of them. So, I mean, kind of, I don't know. I'm really hoping that she's not with Jeremy, considering he's going to be in jail for the rest of his life, with, the ability to get probation. But I also feel like this wasn't a good case. I feel like the justice wasn't there. I really just, I don't feel like there's any justice for this case. I definitely feel like Jasmine should have gotten more. But, you know, if she's feeling remorse, then that's good. At least she realizes, like, what she did was wrong. And I really do hope that she's living her best life. I feel bad for the mom, dad, and the brother. I mean, the parents were literally just trying to do the best that they can. I mean, not the best that they could have done, but that's what they thought they were doing right. So this has kind of been going on for an hour. I'm sorry, guys. Thank you guys for watching for so long. If you guys are on my YouTube channel, I highly suggest you guys subscribe. Click the notification bell to get notifications from when I post. I will be posting on Tuesday next week. If you guys are on my TikTok channel, I appreciate you guys participating. I appreciate all the follows and likes that you guys did. Hi to everybody I wasn't able to say hi to during the case that I was talking about. Thank you guys for joining. Please, please, please leave a comment, like, subscribe on my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is linked on my TikTok, so please do that. And thank you guys for joining. Alright, I'm gonna head out of my YouTube video right now, and I will